if we go back like a couple hundred years, it was pretty normal to own slaves. Is that right or correct?
Why are we talking about slavery?
Because I'm showing you why the ad populum fallacy is a logical fallacy.
Honestly, back then, a lot of Black people participated in the slave trade themselves. So
Yeah, that doesn't make slavery right. Are you trying to defend
it was
slavery?
a product of the time, dude. It
Are
was
you trying to defend slavery?
Did you not see Matt Walsh's new video on this topic?
I did, and I think that defending slavery is cringe as
Defending slavery, but I think we're illogical if we didn't realize that a lot of Black people enjoyed being slaves when slavery was a thing.
Pause, time out. She pulled a Kanye West on us. Oh, okay. That's a lot to talk about. All right, let me just get this out of the way, okay? Because the interviewer is trying to give this idea that she's defending slavery just because she's saying all that stuff about racism or slavery being a product of the time. That's not defending slavery. That's not even justifying it. That's understanding it. Of which the blonde girl is actually correct. It is a product of the time. And we have to understand we cannot apply the same standards and the same judgment today because back then they didn't have the same even knowledge that we have. Today we're in an incredibly globalized world. I can enter a chat room right now and have a conversation with a Chinese person with maybe half a second of delay within our conversation. Back in the day, if you wanted to have this kind of approach of cultures, this connection, this would take you days or months for that letter to even reach China, let alone you getting a reply back. Half the world didn't even fucking know China existed. And the same thing happened with Africa, same thing happened with pretty much every region in the world. Again, we cannot apply the same standards we have today with the standards of yesterday, okay? Even though there's situations of too much information also making people dumb. But all in all, we have a lot of information we discuss with other people. It's not illegal to even do this. When back in the day, some countries actually considered this to be some form of conspiracy against the state if 3 people were talking together. We now have discussions, we now have knowledge, it's different. But that doesn't make an evil of itself, like slavery, any less harmful or a negative thing. But to even use that to the extent of saying that people enjoyed being slaves. Holy crap.
Well, how do you know that Black people enjoy being slaves?
I mean, it's just in history. I've read about a lot of Black people not only participated in capturing slaves, but a lot of Black people enjoyed being slaves. Because of course, when you're really? Brought up doing something like being a slave your whole life, it's all you know.
I'm sorry for laughing, but it's not that type of stupidity. I mean, she has a point because, if you're stupid your whole life, how do you know to not be a stupid person? I understand her point there. There's a huge difference between not knowing any other reality and enjoying being in that reality. I'm pretty sure there was no slaves whatsoever in any extent that like the whiplashing, the fucking pain. We're not talking about BDSM, bitch. I mean, we're talking about people who were not consenting to be in that situation. How can you enjoy something that is not even consented in the first place? Even the most fucked up fantasies that people can think of, there's always that inherent perspective of consent. No one was ever enslaved and thought, you know what? This is kind of cool. I get to spend a whole day in the garden, almost starved to death in the middle of all this food, but it's fun. No one ever said that shit.
I'm sure a lot of slaves probably enjoyed it and were happy because that's the only lifestyle they were aware of.
That's crazy.
Can you not think like that? Is it really that dense?
I have never heard of somebody enjoying having to work countless hours on a plantation, being dehumanized and whipped and told they're not human and being beaten within an inch of their life and being
saying that.
I don't think that people enjoy that.
You can't deny the fact that there were probably slave owners that, just like there were really bad ones, there were probably slave owners that probably treated their slaves really nice too, right?
The right. No, I can't. I'm quitting. There's half a video to watch. I'm quitting right now. Bitch, if they were nice, they wouldn't be slave owners in the first place. The same way you don't have nice abusers, you don't have nice aggressors, because a mere word means that there's something that is being done to you that you didn't agree in the first place. Like I said, all the kinks in bed and all that, there's always a sentiment of consent. It never truly becomes or any of that negative shit. It's fantasized, but it doesn't actually happen. And the rest of the video is more of her saying that I'm not defending, even though obviously she just said all that crazy shit about some of them enjoying. That's crazy. What we just saw here, I think it's kind of like the reaction of someone who isn't prepared to have this kind of discussion. And she was shooting sideways every single fucking direction, and she was not hitting, even though I kind of understand what she had in mind initially. That snowballed into something that is just absolutely stupid and ignorant. I think what she was talking about was a case that obviously back in the day, they didn't have the education that we do. Okay, they didn't have even the discussions. They were not even allowed to discuss these ideas. We're talking about time periods where people still believed the earth was flat because a certain organization said so. Okay? I do think it's unfair to judge people back in the day the same way we judge people today. When we have far more education, we have far more understanding of things. But none of that correlates to what this bitch just said about slave owners or slave owners being nice and certain slaves enjoying being slaves. That doesn't work that way.